So I'm really delighted to introduce you for the first time to the English-speaking world, Heinz Grill. Heinz Grill, thank you for coming to talk to me.
Yeah, thank you for this interview.
I have the first question I would like to ask you is that I have found your work very inspiring for many years because it seems to be very, very profound, very unusually deep. And I wonder if you could explain what is this depth? Where does it come from?
Yeah, it's a question. It is not very easy for me because I'm a man who likes to think in a very, very profound. It is my nature. It is not only my whole doing. It is my nature in me.
Where do your deep ideas come from? What is the dimension of these deep ideas?
Yeah, my theme is the spiritual life. And the spiritual life is always profound. It has a depth. It cannot be on the surface. Today we have this problem that a lot of persons are speaking about the spiritual life and about different experiences. But what are these experiences? A lot of these experiences are only emotions, only some experiences of like something we can call it spiritismus. But to create a life or a view for depths of the spiritual worlds, it is always a discipline which is not coming from outside. The man must train his thinking, his feelings and his willpower.
So we cannot understand the spiritual world with our intellect or with our emotion, but we have to train a different kind of faculty in ourselves.
Yeah, it's a very deep faculty in us, and we have to train every day to find a knowledge of the higher worlds. And what are these higher worlds? What is this theme? We can see we have a lot of appearances, outer experiences of the life. But what is behind these experiences and appearances?
That is a very important question, I think, today, because we live in such a fast world and people always want quantity of experiences, but very superficial. So how can we learn to find more depth?
No. And we have a time of informations.
Yes.
And informations are overloading the intellect. But the experience of a being which is behind the appearance of the world, behind, for an example, behind a flower, behind a person, or which is the deeper experience of the history. It is always necessary to train our thinking and our feeling. We must get rid of our emotions, and we need time to find this deeper sense, or we can say feelings. Feelings is a very general word in English. In German we have a lot of words for these different feelings, but we must create something in us which is a deeper sense for the beings, for the existences behind these surfaces.
So if we can get rid of our emotions and train ourselves to feel more subtle kinds of feelings, then we can learn to see these beings, you call them, which lie beneath the outer appearances.
Yeah. Every person can learn it. He needs a little bit time, patience, and he must follow a path which does not remain on the surface. If he wants to see something of the higher worlds or of the higher beings, for an example, to see an angel, he cannot follow only some informations. He must train his thinking in a special way, and he must create feelings. What is the higher being? What is it? Because we have the sentences in the intellect, their existences. But what is it in the reality? The first step on this path is to create a sense, what is the being? What is the higher knowledge? What is behind the surface?
It feels like the first step is to ask the right question.
Yeah, we can say it. The first step is to find these questions, to make an order of these questions. Only to create a fantastic idea is not enough.
Yes. So it's a very practical, these exercises are very practical, aren't they? They're not just fantastic ideas, as you say. They are very practical, concrete exercises.
A lot of persons are thinking they must get rid of the normal life, they must go into a ascetic life, they must renounce all the emotions. It is not true, because we can continue with our normal life, with our works, with our relations. But it is important to find some time, for an example, half an hour every day in a rhythm, for half an hour, and to observe something of the world. It can be a person, or it can be an appearance. It is possible to make everything for an example. We can observe it, and then we find questions. What is behind it? What is the idea, or what is the spirit of this outer thing?
You have an exercise in one of your books. It's published in the little book called 6 Soul Exercises, and I think it's the first soul exercise which relates to the forces of wisdom in nature. It reminds me, what you are describing reminds me of that exercise. Is that correct?
It is correct. It's the first exercise. Yeah. We can try to do it in other planes. because in the nature we have a lot of examples.
Yes.
But we can make this exercise for other experiences, also for persons. We want to find what is the soul in the person, what is the deeper feeling in the person, what is the intention of the soul of this person. We have a lot of examples. We can do it with persons, we can do it with the nature or with different experiences of the world. We have a lot of occasions to do exercises. One thing is very important, it is we have to study some books which are telling us about the beings, about the angels, or about the higher beings and the higher knowledge. This study is important. Without this study, it is very difficult because we are not trained enough to find these words and these visions. What is it? If a child has not a view for a thing, it cannot describe this thing. And so it is important to study some right books for this training.
I think it is often like that in life. Somebody points out something to you that you have not noticed before, and then you realise that you always knew it was there, but you didn't know how to put words to that thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like that if we do an observation and we also read the words of somebody who has seen more deeply into that thing, then we can also learn to see that depth.
These two things are important: studying and observation, and practical exercise.
And regular practice.
Regular practice, If we do only for one time an exercise, I think the success is not very great.
Yes, we have to practice, you said, half an hour every day.
Half an hour every day.
Yes.
And a little bit studying every day. I think it's for the beginning it is possible. After 2 months we find more depths in our consciousness.
Yes.
And we see some other beings. We can say beings. What are beings? It is a little bit difficult. Beings are beings. We can experience something more. We can say it in this way. We experience more than only the outer senses.
I think also we experience the thing we are looking at in a deeper way, but also we find more depth in our own lives. We feel calmer in ourselves, and we experience that depth in other areas of life as well. For example, in our relationships.
It is a discipline for ourselves, for our self-realization, but it is not for our own part of the life. It is a part, or it is discipline for the whole world. We can give something back to the world. And this is very important. It is a social part for the world.
Do we give something back to the object that we are looking at?
For the object, and not only for the object, for the environment of the object and for the, we can say, for the earth, for other persons. Every exercise has its own value.
This is a very big theme. Maybe we can talk in another interview sometime about how we can give things to the world in a bigger sense.
Yeah, thank you for this interview, and I hope it was not the last interview.
I hope so too. Thank you very, very much for speaking.
Excuse me my bad English, because my English, I have forgotten a lot of words, because in my life in Italy, we do not speak English.
I really appreciate that you have made the effort to speak in English, and I'm sure that viewers will appreciate it very much as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.